the season of creation, I guess it's a kind of a chance in our liturgical calendar to remember that creation relationship, and to kind of say, okay, well, what does that mean for us as we gather to celebrate faith together, and for our wider community as we go out to show love of neighbour.
Hello and welcome to The Way. I'm Wendy Grace. One of the most important issues that is on people's minds today is our environment. How do we care for the planet? What are the practical things that we can do? But how does this connect up with our faith? Pope Francis put it so beautifully when he talks so much about caring for our common home in the encyclical Laudato Si, which still has so much wisdom in it today. Well, join with me in studio to discuss this. I have Roisin Alexander, who works a lot in this area for Trocaire. Roisin, it's great to have you with us.
Thanks very much.
Let's start off with the general idea of just caring for our common home and our faith. What's the connection? Why is it important that they're connected?
Yeah, Pope Francis in Laudato Si reminds us that they're connected. And I guess the kind of fundamental kind of core of it is remembering that we're created by this creator God, and that the creator God holds us in being and holds everything else in being too. So when we think of creation and the environment, it's all in a delicate balance of relationship. And we see ourselves as created creatures sharing this planet with a whole host of species and beings and living creatures.
We've been gifted this place. I often find when you're explaining something to your kids, it's the best synopsis of it. You know, I'd often say to my children, we have to look after the home God's given us.
Yeah.
And the younger generation really seems to get it.
I remember my young fella coming home telling me that we shared DNA with a banana, and it blew my mind.
We're all connected, yeah.
That whole connection thing is really what Pope Francis drives forward in Laudato Si, and us remembering that is part of kind of the focus of the season.
When you drill down into it, Roisin, though, it's kind of intuitive from living out an authentic faith in terms of, well, if we live more simply, we'll buy less, we'll consume less. If we love our neighbour, then we're going to think about, how we're engaging with the things that we buy, the impact it has on the environment, on the people that are making goods, for example. But we are kind of bombarded at the moment, aren't we, with consumerism and various websites selling things for so cheap. There's a lot of pressure put on us.
There is.
Isn't there? In this kind of throwaway culture.
Yeah. So the season of creation, I guess it's a kind of a chance in our liturgical calendar to remember that creation relationship, and to kind of say, okay, well, what does that mean for us as we gather to celebrate faith together, and for our wider community as we go out to show love of neighbour, and to kind of engage with our community and with the creatures that we share the planet with.
So tell us a bit more about the season of creation. What's it all about? When is it, and how can people get involved?
So the season of creation runs from the 1st of September to the 4th of October. The 1st of September is now a day for caring for creation and a day for prayer for creation. And other Christian denominations have marked kind of care for the environment in many different ways. And in some ways, us Catholics are a little bit slow. And so maybe that's why it seems to people this might be a little bit new, that we're being kind of asked to put a special time aside. But I mean, your parish can engage with it in many different ways, or in one small way that can be built on year on year. You can kind of, there's a host of resources at seasonofcreation.org that you can kind of browse and kind of go, well, what could we do as a parish community? Where could we kind of pick and choose our gifts to make a difference in this time? And how do we connect maybe with our wider Christian brothers and sisters? Because it's a great way to reach out as, Christian brothers and sisters to kind of share prayer together in an ecumenical setting, to pray for creation There's lots of resources.
And it's a great way as well to kind of build bridges within our communities and connect up with other groups, you know, whether it's tidy towns or men's sheds where maybe you're working on, you know, planting and, you know, wildflower garden, like simple things that are
Yes,
achievable.
like for example, one of our initiatives in the parish that I live in was we linked in with the GAA and we did a little litter pick. You know, so it doesn't have to be massive or, you know, very complicated. But all these little kind of events and moments that you kind of mark, they are all kind of ways of connecting with our creation and our environment and with each other, and a kind of they all add up to kind of creating that ripple of energy and hope and action that inspires others to get involved.
I love the word hope because sometimes, and understandably, because given the science on the impacts of climate change, you can understand why there can be hopelessness. And they even talk for a younger generation about climate anxiety and all of these sorts of things. But it's our role as Christians to say, no, let's shed light here and bring hope into this discussion.
Yeah, and I think the theme for this year's season of creation is peace with creation, and the scripture that it's coming from is Isaiah 32, and the passage talks about righteousness bringing peace and people being able to rest in quiet places. So there's a deep sense of kind of peacefulness, but like not just the absence of war or conflict, a kind of a deep
Interior
interior
peace, yeah.
peace. And when we remember that our kind of Creator God holds everything in being, and that Creator God made a good world, and we hope and we trust and we work towards that fulfilling of that, you know.
But we have to play our own part, don't we?
Yeah.
It's not going to happen by accident.
No, it's not. And so everyone is called. I mean, that's where Laudato Si was written, with everyone in mind. Like the Pope didn't just speak to Catholics. He said, I'm writing this letter for everyone on this planet.
Well, Roisin, thanks so much for being with us on the way today. And as Roisin mentioned there, if you want to connect up with the season of creation, you can see the website on the screen below where you can access all the resources and see what you can do in your parish.